Hello everyone, my name is José Arias-Estero, and together with my colleague María de la Trinidad Morales-Belando from Spain, we are going to show you the work entitled Difference Between Performance and Learning after a Teaching Game for Understanding unit in Elementary Physical Education. TGfU has been highlighted as an example of a constructivist approach to learning. Accordingly, students could learn to build new conscious knowledge based on the initial one while they try to understand their experience related to the environment in which they occur. This view requires not just knowing how to perform some actions, but also analyzing problems, planning solutions, evaluating the effectiveness of their action, and making judgments about the consequence of their action in a social environment. In this line, the TGfU intervention studies have shown the positive association with game performance, knowledge, and psychological variables normally after an immediate assessment. However, several current theoretical perspectives make the crucial distinction between short-term performance and long-term learning. Whereas performance refers to temporary fluctuation in game behaviors or knowledge assessed immediately after instruction, learning reflects the permanent changes in game behavior or knowledge that support retention and transfer. Therefore, the aim of the study was to explore whether there were differences between outcomes measured as short-term performance and long-term learning after a TGfU intervention. Participants were 20 students in the 4th year of elementary education from one regular physical education class with the same teacher. The teacher was 30 years old and had 5 years of physical education teaching experience in different schools, in 2 of which he had taught using TGfU. The study was quasi-experimental and the design was pre-test and post-test with a retention test. A TGfU floorball intervention of each lesson was enacted between pre- and post-test. The retention test took place after 6 weeks, during which students continue attending their normal physical education lessons of typical childhood games. At the pre-, post- and retention tests, appropriate and inappropriate decision making and efficient and inefficient skill execution were collected. The teacher conducted the floorball unit during 4 weeks. Each week there were 2 50-minute lessons. Each lesson was contextualized in one principle of play, which made it possible to establish the lesson goal, and based on the lesson goals, the student performed on a tactical content and the related technical content, as you can see in the screen. Each student was recorded for 5 minutes playing a game of 4-on-4. Two observers assess all the students in each moment of the study design. We use the game performance assessment instrument to assess appropriate and inappropriate decision making and efficient and inefficient skill execution. On the one hand, there was an increase in efficient skill execution from pre-test to post-test. However, later, from post-test to retest, there was an increase in inefficient skill execution. On the other hand, there were increases in appropriate and inappropriate decision making from pretest to retest. In addition, from post-test to retest, results show increases in appropriate decision making. In conclusion, in accordance with current theoretical perspective, there were differences between short-term performance and long-term learning. Although the participants improved their performance in skill execution immediately after the intervention, they did worse in long-term learning. Besides, their long-term learning in decision-making was impacted because there were higher scores in appropriate and inappropriate decision-making. In other words, temporary changes were observed in skill execution but not in decision-making. Nevertheless, changes in decision-making were observed in the long term. This difference between outcomes could be due to the fact that performance is more an indicator of acquisition during the teaching-learning process. Consequently, what is often efficient is in enabling and assessing learning is often not efficient in enabling and assessing performance. Practitioners and further study should consider this distinction between performance and learning when analyzing participants' outcomes after a TGfU intervention. Consistent with this constructivist teaching-learning perspective, we recommend short and long-term evaluation to check the effect of interventions. Thank you very much for your attention. Also, thanks to my colleague from the organizing committee for the opportunity to present our work, and we hope you find the work interesting, and we are at your disposal by email and social networks to answer any question.